Hey guys, I'm Digimon11, joined today with my good friends at Squirm, sorry.
Scam. We're from Scams Incorporated. But go ahead.
Here today joined with my good friends Jovah.
Hello.
And Pedro.
Hello. You've probably seen me on the Mega Man stuff and stuff. I'm back here again somehow.
You remember me from a lot of Bluezonecomms stuff, and anyway,
today we're here today to talk about Balan Worldworld. More specifically, the demo that came out a few days ago.
Excuse me, it's Balan Wonderworld, not Wonderland.
Oh my god, did I make that mistake?
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry, it's just Wonderland sounds so much better off the tongue.
Trust me, Dej. I feel exactly the same way that it should be called Balan Wonderland. Though honestly, going off of who you actually play as, maybe it should be called Leo's Wonderworld.
Or Emma's Wonderworld? I don't know.
Okay.
Or Barren Wasteland.
I'm just gonna say this right now. Us Knights fans have not yet gotten a win, and look, I'll say this.
Better give all a little background before we go into that, Joe. Basically, me and Jovah are big Knights fans, as well as Sonic fans. So we are supposedly the target audience for this thing. And,
I'm just going to say it like this. Hey, Dej, you know how even back in the day with Mighty Number 9, something was always telling you something was wrong with this?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I was with Balan Wonderworld. Oh, also, do we want to agree on calling it Balan Wonderland just because that sounds so much better?
Let's just say Balan. Let's just say Balan for short.
Yeah, but actually, I do have something to say. With Mighty Number 9, I was like, hey, this looks good, but I wasn't in the screw you, Capcom, because I thought, like, that seems extremely petty, because this is like, let's actually have this stand on its own feet and show, yes, there is a market, instead of, F you! I was like that with Yooka-Laylee, even though I didn't buy it, and oof.
I can sort of understand the mentality with it. Capcom were treating Mega Man horribly around that time, and it was
only that their company, them as a company, were pretty much shit at that time as well.
I'd just like to mention real quick, Deji, to that game's credit, most of the issues of Yooka-Laylee have already been patched out by this point. So if you do get it now, it's a much better game than it was at release. So I do recommend giving it a try.
That said, though, my point about comparing it to then is like, well, here's the thing. When Balan Worldworld was first announced, everyone, well, okay, not everyone, but so many people were on the moon going, oh my god, Yuji Naka's finally back to show truly how you properly do this or that, because Sonic Team bad, automatically on everything. Gotta. No, look, I'm a Sonic fan, and yes, I actually am one of the few people who doesn't look at Sonic's current predicament with gloom and doom. Mind you, that is despite Sega doing some pretty questionable stuff lately. God, I'm gonna miss Roger. But my point is this, though. I was never a Naka fanboy. Now, don't get me wrong. I respect that he is a good developer, and he has done good things. But I always felt that he was overrated, and a lot of people overlooked the fact that the man did kind of contribute to how Sonic 06 came out messed up because, well, he left in the middle of development, leaving that ship without a captain, and taking a lot of his staff with them.
Not just that, even when he was there, he didn't do his actual, job as a producer and kept the production under control, where the project constantly switched directions and visions and directors various times, and Naka just stood by watching as a complete chaos was ensuing. But
he was
also, I want to point out.
Oh wait, hold on, I also have to point out this. Naka is also part of the reason that we didn't get the best of a localization for the Sonic Adventure games. Because, he thought, Japanese voice directors will always know what's best. Then that is why we have characters saying random Japanese words in the English version of Sonic Adventure 2.
Yosh.
Yeah, or Teria! Look, don't get me wrong, Naka is a good developer, but he is not a great lead on this stuff here and there. And I always had my doubts about him regarding Balan Worldworld. Also, I never got on the train saying, "Oh, this will be our new Knights," because from the get-go, I knew this
It's nothing like Knights.
It is nothing like Knights, Deji, but it's literally using the Knights story formula. It's literally the Knights story formula.
I'm talking from a gameplay perspective, the world and character designs. Yeah, that's pretty much Sonic Team, more specifically Naoto Oshima.
And guess who character designed and directed the original Knights? Naoto Oshima.
Yeah.
Allow me to explain.
I guess what company he's working for.
Allow me to explain, Dads. Technically, this does play like a Knights game. The human gameplay.
You know, the worst part of both games.
Okay. And you know what? To give Journey of Dreams credit, yes, I actually like Journey of Dreams. Journey of Dreams did give the human gameplay some bells and whistles to help make it more bearable. And sure, they made a mini game out of it, but it was to a point where I felt that it flowed well enough here. This feels like human gameplay from the original game, somehow slightly worse. I'll just say it from the get-go. Why is Balan himself not playable? Well, okay, I say slightly because, well, that's the thing. In the original game, it was supposed to be a punishment whenever, you were forced to play as the humans, because, that usually meant that you ran out of time or, got hit too many times or whatnot in the original. So I say it's slightly worse because, well, in the original game, they made it a point that it was supposed to suck because that was your punishment. Or at least it sucked compared to playing as Knights himself here and there. Like I said, Journey of Dreams actually gave bells and whistles to make the human gameplay more compatible and better, seeing as how you would be playing as them more here and there. But Balan Wonderworld, well...
It's literally just that punishment as a full game, basically.
Yeah. And Balan himself, and yes, for those who haven't caught on by now, Balan is the name of the... I guess we might as well just call him a jester here who's helping out kids with their...
And the not Real. His name is, Lance. Get it, Balance?
Okay. I only played the first 2 levels up until we saved the farmer, and then I gave up because I was afraid of dying of boredom if I continued. Do they ever actually explain who the hell Balan is in this demo?
Nope.
I guess you have to play the full game to figure out. Oh, joy! Okay, I think the best place to start with this is from the beginning when this game was first announced. Essentially, folks, I'm going to call this essentially the Mighty No. 9/ukulele at launch of Knights.
Yeah, basically.
I'd say Sonic Team.
Sure.
Sonic Team. Honestly, I'm going to say it right now, though. For as much flack as we throw Sonic Team, the usual stuff they churn out even to this day is better than Balan Worldworld. I don't care if I get hailed or clowned on for that. It is just worse on something else. It's like,
let me add to this.
Yeah.
If this is a representation of what Yuji Naka can do with a company on Square under his wing, I hope this kills the argument that he should come back to the series because I don't want him back.
Me neither. Well, I never wanted him back, period.
So. Again, it always bugged me how much people were willing to overlook the fact that, hey, the guy is partially part of the reason that Sonic 06 is the way it turned out.
That's the thing. Don't get me wrong. Yuji Naka did a fantastic job with the programming of the classic Sonic games. He's the one who came up with all those awesome pinball physics that make those games a fucking dream to play. But you know
who else was the dream? You have to realize it's a dream team. You know who else was involved with that game?
Hirokazu Yasuhara.
Hirokuza Yashuzara.
Hirokazu Yasuhara. He's the one that actually designed the levels. He did the game design itself. He's the true star of that, and never.
And I'm currently at Wikipedia. I'm looking at his track record. He worked on the Jack trilogy and Jack Combat Racing.
Yeah, he was a Naughty Dog
on the first. So it's like. All right, let me put it like this. Imagine if Naka didn't work for Square, but somehow worked for Sony, and then convinced Mark Cerny to make another 3D platformer, and then got Oshima, and somehow gotten
Yasuhara.
Yasuhara. Thank you. Just imagine. Maybe it probably would have been better,
obviously, because
or it'd probably be on par with Knack, depending on how you feel about that.
Well, okay. Let's think about it like this, though. I'm gonna say it. If this demo's anything to go off of, Izuka got better with AIDS than Naka did. Like, yeah, a lot of people throw a lot of slack at Izuka, but honestly, as far as I'm concerned, that man has done more good than bad for both the Sonic and Knight series. Like, yeah, Journey of Dreams may have been a mixed bag, but it honestly...
You can also blame down executive meddling, because from my understanding, that wasn't meant to be a Wii game.
Yeah, that's one thing that a lot of people don't bring up. So if you'll allow me a quick resume, basically, everybody, back in 2007, a former Sega employee called Ben Andak specifically posted a blog post talking about how the game was originally meant to be on the 360 and PS3. However, Sega wasn't willing to spend all that much money for a full-blown HD Knights game because they didn't have enough faith in the project. So now actually make it on the Wii because it will be cheaper to produce. That way it will be less of a risk on our part. And as a result...
But let's just talk about this game before we go on to our Naka rant.
Sure.
So let's start with the cutscenes, shall we?
The CG ones or the in-game ones?
CG.
Well, okay.
Yeah, since they're the opening one.
The CGI is done by Square's Visual Works department. The department that is, of course, known for doing the CGI cutscenes for all the Final Fantasy games, the animation for Final Fantasy Spirits Within, Event Children, and the recent film King's Glory Final Fantasy 15. So obviously the CGI looks gorgeous because Square is good with that. That being said, while the animation is gorgeous, the actual content of the cutscenes, let's just say...
So, okay, let's do a comparison. When it comes to Knights, normally the typical idea of a story frame you have Knights is essentially this. You play as a kid, a boy or girl, who has problems in real life that are reflected in their dreams that become terrifying nightmares that Knights, of course, has to help them out with and face so that they can grow to be better people here. The original game did this without any dialogue. Journey of Dreams, I actually do feel, fleshed this out very well, even with the voice acting and script here and there. So yeah, again, kudos to Izuka for that. But with Balan Worldworld... Okay, am I the one who feels it's a little unclear on things here and there?
Unclear is putting it mildly.
So, are these dreams or memories, or is this supposed to be like Wizard
It's Wonderworld, apparently. I'm assuming it's a Wonderworld, aka Balan's World. I'm assuming that's what it is, but again, I don't know because this game doesn't explain a goddamn thing to you.
Why not include better dialogue? Or, dialogue in general?
Like Jovah said, the first game didn't have... Go ahead.
It does a poor job at explaining to you this world. First of all, why should we care about these kids' dilemma?
Don't even get me started on that.
I played as the boy because I saw all the girls' cutscenes online. So I want to see his perspective. He's dancing in a park. People are clapping for him. They go up to him, want to be friendly. It's like, there's a someone drops their basketball. It's like, hey, toss it, play. It's like, what is this?
I know, right? Leo's opening makes no sense.
He's supposed to be an introvert, which I get, but it's like, no.
You see, Dej, if you read Leo's bio, it turns out he got into a fight with his best friend and has been antisocial ever since.
And we couldn't have that be his opening cutscene because
I don't get it. Like,
why is he in a park then with lots of people who are friendly then?
Of all the Square Enix things to take inspiration from, Pedro, why'd they pick Final Fantasy 13 of all things?
Well, that's the thing. Here's the thing, Jovah. To be fair, from what I can tell, Naka has full creative control. I seriously doubt this was a mandate of sorts.
I'm joking.
Sure. It's
my point about how it repeats Final Fantasy 13's issue. Vital stuff that would have been better being included into a cutscene is instead told to do something that you must find yourself and read to understand the story.
Yeah, basically. It's because it makes no sense. Okay, Deji, I'm assuming you've at the very least seen the opening cutscenes for the Knights games and how they work.
A couple days ago, I went to see the opening for Journey of Dreams, the sequel, and I saw the girl playing with her violin.
Yeah.
I was still kind of confused, but it didn't feel as incredibly stupid because you can tell right from the get-go there is something wrong with
Sure,
it.
and I can tell you that when you play through the game after that, they elaborate on it anyway, so you'll get it regardless.
Yeah.
It's because again, like I said, let me use one from the original game since this is the one that everybody agrees is good. To compare to the boy from the first game, Elliot loves playing basketball, and those older kids.
Oh yeah, basketball, right?
It was basketball actually. You're thinking of Will. You're thinking of Will. It's Will. It's Will that plays soccer. But yeah, Elliot loves playing basketball, and he's playing with his friends. And then some older kids bully them out of the court because they want to use the court instead. So so basically, which is of course a dilemma that kids who play on the playground can relate to. It's something that unfortunately happens a lot. And that's where his for lack of a better word, inner demons come from. The fact that he's frustrated by the fact that he's bullied and he never stands up, and he's incapable of standing up to them and all that stuff. Again, something that every kid can relate to. And of course, this manifests in his dreams, and that's why he needs to go on this dream adventure. And through all the stuff he does with Claire and Knights and everything, he learns that he needs to. But you know the point. Leo's cutscene makes no sense. It doesn't convey anything. It doesn't convey why he's sad, why we should give a crap. Like, in fact, it makes no sense as presented in the context of the at least this demo, because it just shows him breakdancing. And by the way, he's smiling as he does it. Yeah, clearly this kid is torn up inside, isn't he? He smiles as he breakdances. People clap, and that's it. And he, as far as the game tells us through the cutscenes, we have literally no context. Okay, so I have to go read. Go ahead.
I think I have a better example. Let's say he was trying to dance and perform, and then he fails. People laugh at him, and then he runs away. That would have been better.
It would have. Okay.
I understand they're trying to dive into the topic of mental health and all that, but it's like, this is poorly executed.
But that's
feels a bit insulting.
But that's exactly it. Sorry, Deji. The two.
It's been a long day.
The two Nights games did that on a subtle. Yeah, they didn't flat out spell it out that it was mental health, but they do. Again, being bullied and not being. That is related to that. It's just that those games were subtle about it, so they didn't flat out spell it out for you.
If I can make a comparison. Leo's cutscene feels like an equivalent to Will's cutscene if it had a drastic scene missing. Allow me to explain. Will's cutscene in Knight's Journey of Dreams is essentially things with him being all happy-go-lucky, him being a great soccer player and bonding with his dad. It all seems happy until you notice things get darker, and then you notice the thing that shows that, his dad's not there that often, and all you need is just that plain to see that his dad is very busy and doesn't have time for him. Something that a lot of kids could relate with. Leo's cutscene feels like it was building up to something that, it would seem all happy, but then we get that one little thing that suggests something wrong. Only it never happens, really. That's the thing. It would be like if immediately we cut from Will being happy to just Will being scared in this cutscene without the context of his dad not having time for him.
Yeah.
So, and you know what's sad, though? For as much problems as we have with Leo's cutscene, I still found it leagues ahead of Emma's.
I disagree, but let me describe it real quick. I'll let you explain after I do. Okay, Emma's opening scene, at least in my opinion, I'll let Jovah voice his mind in a moment, is a bit better because at the very least there's a bit more context. Like, basically she's in this mansion, so apparently she's rich, and all her maids gossip about her, apparently. I don't know why would and then she runs away, and that's it. And apparently that's all, and right after that she goes to Balan, and Balan takes her to the Wonderworld and whatever, and that's all we get. My question was, so they gossip about you. Do all of your friends at school do this as well? Because, I mean, if it's just the maids, it's not that big a deal. It's not like they're your maids. You don't have to be friends with them. Fuck them.
This is honestly why I find this one the worst one. Whereas with Leo's, I could maybe infer from his cutscene that he feels like he can't connect to these people. Like, sure, they applaud for him, but he's not their friends, And, maybe he has some celebrity anxiety or whatnot. But Emma's just doesn't make any sense because okay, with Leo's, it felt like they were trying, but just petered out. With Emma's, it doesn't even feel like they're trying. It's just like, what? Can this girl not stand the thought of anyone talking? And we don't even know for sure if it was actually gossip about her or anything. It's just... okay, I do wonder if the cutscenes themselves are incomplete or something, and maybe there's more to it, but... Well, like I said...
I don't think so. Maybe they'll elaborate more on this throughout the game of the character story, so who knows? I doubt it, but...
That's the thing, though. Like, this is a very meaty demo. As far as... Unless they intentionally left out most of the cutscenes, it's weird, because this demo has, like, 6 levels. Like...
Yes.
I wonder, is this thing, like, all just Chapter 1 or something, or...
No. I'm not sure, because I know, like, the first two... you play as World 1, then you unlock World 4, then World 6.
Yeah. Also...
So
yeah.
Maybe... I don't know.
But yeah, those are the CG cutscenes. They look gorgeous, but otherwise suck. Although the music is good. The music is the best thing about this game.
So that's the CGI footage. How about we talk about the in-game stuff?
All right, what console did you guys play this on?
Wow,
I need to know.
I played it on the PS5.
I played it on both the PC and the Switch.
Oh boy! So we have a Switch user here to report to us how bad the Switch version is. Apparently,
I played it on my PS4.
Okay,
good. So we've got pretty much the full set except for the Xbox consoles.
Okay, I am happy to report that the PS5 version runs smoothly as butter frame rate wise. So
same for the PC version.
Same with the PS4, although it feels like I'm not too technical, but I believe the term is anti-aliasing.
Jaggies.
That applies to all versions. I think the PC version has settings that you can use to prevent that, but the console versions all have that.
Yeah. The PC version does have a way to alleviate that, but weirdly, on all console versions, there are jaggies, and I'm like...
Wow, Jovah, this Wii game looks really mediocre. I don't know about you.
It's a early PS2 game.
Could this be a throwback to how Naka made a better Wii game with Rodea Sky Soldier than the Wii U version? Oh god. But
yeah, it's crazy because I thought, like, from my understanding, Naka was a very talented developer. He just had bad luck. But I'm just thinking... everyone says Rodea is good.
Let me explain, Deji. See, Naka is a great programmer. That I can tell you. The problem is that, here's the thing. When he left Sega, he took a lot of people from the Sonic team with him to found Probe. That's the studio that made Rodea the Sky Soldier and Ivy the Kiwi.
God, I never heard about Ivy the Kiwi. How'd that
It's
work
basically, a Kirby's Canvas curse?
Yeah.
That's basically
it, except with a bird. Basically,
I'm guessing it didn't sell so well because
it was a digital game on the Wii.
Yeah, it's one of those time wasting games that it's basically a mobile game before mobile gaming was the titan that it is today. Yeah, basically. It's a time wasting game, but they made the Sky Sword. Here's the thing, Deji. Yuji Naka was the helm of that project, but he had this Probe ex-Sonic team staff with him, helping him out and all that stuff. This is little Yuji Naka, who left Probe, and by the way, nobody from Probe followed him to Square, for the record. This is something this is Yuji Naka working with an entirely new team of people that he's never even met before.
So let me see if I can get this straight. Naka left Sega and the Sonic 06 project without a head, thus contributing to its mess, to form his own company that he himself left.
I don't even understand.
Well, from my understanding, people weren't really doing much at Probe, and everyone was also leaving, so it's like they disbanded. It was kind of like Treasure.
It kind of makes me wonder if Naka really did have a plan for, in case Rodea Sky Soldier didn't...
They were waiting for... Rodea was made back in 2011, so it was practically done. They were waiting on...
Yep.
Their publisher to...
Kadawaka Games basically screwed over Probe with that game, basically.
Long story short, folks, believe it or not, against all odds, the Wii version of Rodea is far superior to the Wii U version.
Yeah, it was it was not officially released. It was released as a bonus with the Wii U version. A bonus.
I want to play it because it looks nice.
No, it is a good game. It is. It's not perfect by any means, but it is a good game.
I'm just gonna say this though.
According to Wikipedia, number of employees 1.
Wow.
What?
So
Probe has 1 employee.
It's just Naka.
Wait, what?
Wait, but
I thought he left Probe.
Again, it's like the treasure situation.
So Naka himself is Probe.
So let me get this straight. Probe is still around, but his 1 employee is not there anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Like treasure.
Which is ironic because Naka apparently created another new team for this game called the Balan Company. Okay, I gotta say.
How many more companies do you need to create? And after this game tanks hard, the Balan Company is also going to go down under, so this is going to be about 3 times that Naka screwed over an entire group of people.
So let's actually talk about the gameplay.
Well, yeah.
Or
speaking of
do
the
you want,
gameplay,
or is there anything else you want to talk about?
There's gameplay. There's gameplay in this. Like
there is one. Okay, since we're transitioning to the gameplay, there is one thing I do want to mention though. Rodea Sky Soldier comes to mind. I've asked it before and I'll ask it again. Why the hell was the main gameplay not us playing as Balan with the gameplay from Rodea Sky Soldier?
Because Jovah, Balan's gameplay is just QTEs.
Yeah, you know what? Let's get into that.
Yes.
The year is 2021. Why are we still doing these QTEs?
Okay, let me.
Or not interesting uninteresting QTEs.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing that I can think of worse QTEs than this because at the very least they have this thing where you have to press it when the silhouette matches. That's actually not. I've seen less inspired use of QTEs than this, to be fair. It's more so the fact that the problem with QTEs is that developers use them as a lazy way to not design gameplay, and this is a clear case of that, because QTEs can work in the right circumstances. They can be used as long as they're not, but you have to be mindful to not overuse them. You keep them in positions where it makes sense to have a QTE here and there. This, on the other hand, no. There's literally no reason for Balan. Balan supposedly is the face of this bloody game. It's the face of the fucking company that made this game, the Balan Company. Why the hell?
It would be like if Sonic was like a side gimmick in Sonic Heroes, and instead you were supposed to play most of it
wasn't that
Knuckles.
basically Forces in a nutshell? It was basically about the Avatar.
Let's not get into that. Let's go ahead, Jovah.
Why bother making a big deal about this Balan character only to relegate him to side material stuff? And mind you, this is something we sort of knew even before we saw a lot of, before we got this demo. We knew from the get-go that it was mainly going to be about the 2 kids and Balan himself wouldn't be the main playable character. I was disappointed about it back then, but I thought, okay, maybe they can make something good out of it. Turns out what they wanted to make was essentially the human gameplay, and I'm like, okay, Naka, depending on when this game was made, are you just tone deaf? Like, so you think people would prefer a sludgy, trudgy, slow-moving, on-foot platform as opposed to something like, I don't know, a flying platformer?
So, I'm gonna play devil's advocate for this one. Okay. I can see him wanting to do something new, but taking, like, that world aesthetic of Knights, but making it a completely different game.
That's the thing.
It's like that's fun, again, because he already made Rodea, so I guess he just wanted to make a standard 3D platformer, and that's fine.
That's the thing, Deji.
Like this feels so Knights-esque, though.
That's the thing, Deji. Like Jovah was saying,
that's just the style.
That's the thing, Deji. Hold on, allow me, Jovah. That's the thing, Deji. As Jovah was saying, that's the thing. Coming from 2 Knights veterans like me and Jovah, Deji, let me tell you, the gameplay of this game, or like the normal gameplay, is on foot human sections of Knights with Super Mario Brothers freestyle of outfits, power-ups, if you want to call them. That's basically what this game is.
Yeah, like, I mean, okay, I'll just say this. If this wasn't Naka's intent, then this is a frightening coincidence because it is literally how humans in the first Knights game played, without the bells and whistles from Journey of Dreams that made the human gameplay more bearable, too. I mean, sure, yeah.
But I don't think he was trying to mislead anybody.
Oh no, that's not
because again, Oh, okay.
No, they were honest about the fact that Balan was not going to be that's not, we're not accusing him of that. That's not the issue. The issue, but we can still complain that it's a terrible decision though. Like it's just it makes no sense to have this, especially because the kids are not interested. If you're gonna make these common normal kids the primary playable characters, you better make them interesting, or at the very least make the costumes that they wear interesting. But we'll get to that.
Not only that, this is literally coming years after Super Mario Odyssey, a game that has practically revolutionized how you handle 3D game platforming with a relatively speedy character with different costumes and abilities here and there.
Yeah.
So
there's a costume in this game that's basically a rip-off of the Onion from Odyssey. Like, seriously.
Guys, I really want to dive into this because I have so much to say.
Where do we begin with the game?
All right,
honestly,
let's start with how the game plays. One, why is everything mapped to one button? Why are we doing this? The year is 2021, and Naka still thinks he's making a game from 1991.
Basically, yeah.
If I recall correctly, even the Sonic Genesis games, I feel, used more buttons than this.
No, it was always one button.
It's interesting you say that, Deji, because this is 2021, meaning it's the 30th anniversary of the game that was his magnum opus. So this is his anniversary celebration, I guess. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
Because I was also told that Rodea also does sort of the same thing with the one button thing.
But
Rodea's controls work better around it.
Yeah, because it's built around motion controls as well.
Yeah, it's both one button plus the motion controls. Yeah.
But you know what's even dumber? Say you pause the game, I want to go for a menu, and you want to go back. You know how almost every game nowadays has a dedicated button to go back? No, you have to go and select and say return to something. It's like, why is this here? It's just so backwards.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Naka, even Mighty Number 9 didn't make that mistake. That's how low I have to go with this.
I get that Naka is maybe a bit rusty, but you're telling me that nobody in the development team told him about this?
Look.
You guys, for the people that are listening, you might feel like this is a bit small.
Try playing it. Look. It's like I said on Sonic Stadium. You think it looks or sounds boring or bad? Try playing itself. You will understand.
Yes, play the demo. It's available in every platform. It's incredibly easy for you to play. That's the thing, Deji. We already know from Naka's history that he's he's not a team player. It's his way or the highway.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, he's Batman and Robin.
Oh God, he is. But yeah, seriously though, so everything. Okay, just when I thought Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood was the most clunky and most relegating control scheme here I've ever played, here comes this thing which so much says navigating the menu feels like a chore. And this feels worse than Mighty Number 9.
I want to save that for near the end, but let's just continue with the gameplay.
So, yeah, basically the main format is this. You move around platform-wise, you run around, you use power-ups here.
And you move at the pace of a snail.
Stuff, but the thing that really comes first to my mind is, oh my God, it's so slow!
You move at the pace of a snail.
It's like Jak and Daxter!
I'm gonna go and say that no, okay, let me put it this way, Deji. The level design in Jak and Daxter is actually made to accommodate Jak's speed. Not in this game.
He's still too slow for my liking.
Okay, compromise. I think that this one is still even worse and slower than Jak.
No.
It is.
This is unbearable.
At least Jak has that weird cartwheel move, and he actually can jump.
No, the only thing that this game has in terms of walking controls over Omicron, the Nomad Soul, is the fact that at the very least, even though it's unbearable and slow, it functions on a basic sense.
Congratulations.
Pedro, you just made me imagine Balan Worldworld, but with tank controls. Good.
Let me put it this way, Deji. Omicron, the Nomad Soul, aka David Cage's first game. That game has a full-blown open 3D world for you to explore with tank controls, and you have to control those tank controls with a D-pad.
Ew.
Exactly.
Ew. Dude, that's like, what? Am I playing Resident Evil 1?
Oh, please.
But yeah, okay, so the gameplay in this game. But it's time I mention my experience with the Switch version, because whoever is porting this Switch version needs to either be fired or given a lesson in how you do not torture your players. Because the Switch version, by God.
The Switch version is the only one that's capped at 30, and it very often chugs below that 30.
It chugs, and this is inexcusable. The Switch is not some weak sauce console here and there, and
I'm
the
pretty
kind of game Balan is, they could easily scale it.
Oh, no, not even that. This game can clearly run on... Look at this game. This game can clearly run on the Wii. Look at this thing.
Yeah.
It's just poorly optimized.
Okay, yeah, before we go in further, the in-game... Look, okay, so...
There's this hub world that's like a Chow Garden.
Yeah, they have these birds called Tims, except I don't understand how the hell this works. You collect these jewels, you throw the jewels into the flowers, and they eat them, and the game never...
But it doesn't explain what you're supposed to do.
I know, there's no tutorials in this game.
I'm all for figuring things on my out, because, like, Chow Garden, that's a simple concept, but even then, there's still some... They still tell you, oh, you can do this and whatnot.
Yeah,
not only that.
What are they called? Tims?
Tims.
Tims, yeah.
Apparently.
You feed them, and it's like, what happens?
They breathe. I don't know.
And then I put them in that machine. And turns out, that machine is collecting all the gems you collect. Turns out, you don't have to feed them. The machine will just keep increasing. You can even stand on there. And you make this weird Rube Goldberg machine. And from what I was told by someone who completed it, it doesn't do anything.
Fucking brilliant.
So it's like a complete waste of your time.
And let me remind you, you're doing this all with one button.
Yeah.
When you're making the My Dream feature of Journey of Dreams look good, you've got problems. Like,
God damn, just again, why is everything done with one button? And trust me, audience, it may sound like a nitpick, but like I said, actually play this game and you will understand the frustration.
Yeah.
Like, look, we complained about this enough in Sonic Unleashed. Imagine where practically every action is done by this. Now, I know what you may say.
Yeah, too as well. To some extent.
I mean, okay, again, that was like 2 moves, though. Here, it's practically everything, though. Like, it's just... Why? Okay.
Let's actually go to the levels themselves.
Again, Naka is a programmer, not a director. Why couldn't Oshima direct this game?
Because he's too busy ruining another Yoshi game.
Ugh.
Now, I'm going to say this. The Switch is definitely docking any points I would give, because the porting job is terrible. Not only does it chug, but I have come across quite a few glitches with the Switch version as well, too.
Did you screen cap it or record it?
Nah, usually when I record stuff, it's via PC. I didn't have my Elgato hooked up to my Switch.
No, not record. I mean, like, you know how the Switch has that screen capture.
Shoot. Did not think to do that.
Yeah, you could upload it on Twitter or whatnot. Yeah.
Did you get any glitches on your playthroughs, guys?
Nope. Like I said, I only played the first 2 levels up until the point where you save the farmer, and after that, I stopped because I was afraid I would die of boredom if I continued.
Did you fight the boss as well?
Yes, I did. Well, you have to fight the boss to save the farmer. So
Deji, did you play through the whole thing as well?
The whole thing? Yes, I played through everything.
Oh, God.
Good. So did I. Well, okay, not so much on the Switch version, because...
I just could not stomach any more of it. Oh my God, it's so bad.
Well, Pedro, you may have missed out on quite some stuff, as me and Dej will tell you. But
let's actually start with the first level. You have... Oh my God, I'm actually getting angry. Okay, so you start off. You're in your normal state. You're just jumping around. You're moving at a snail's pace. Sure, whatever. Then you see these dancing wolves who disappear once you get near them.
Why do they disappear when you get close to them?
Because it's a dream.
Representation of something?
Again,
It's symbolic.
I'm guessing maybe the plot in the final game will explain this, but
Okay, I'm just gonna say this right now. When you are if you do have to omit some plot details from your demo or something, make it so that it's a way that people can understand. For example, when the Ace Attorney games do demos, they sort of change up the story slightly so that, it fits the smaller structure here. Like, they rearrange some plot details here and there, or they pretty much change the overall background of it. Like, maybe it's a mock trial instead, or, they omit some details here and there, but they rearrange the plot so that it makes sense here. Here, maybe they're trying to mystify us, but instead of feeling enticed, I just felt irritated with how it felt like the game is constantly teasing me for like, oh, nope, sorry, you gotta play the game to understand a lick of what's going on, and I don't think that's good for a demo. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like I should be able to understand what's going on, or at least get an inkling of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I get not wanting to, talk down to players, like seem like, oh, you're spoon-feeding it to them, but this feels like the borderline opposite, where it's just trying to play all vague to seem smart and clever.
It's not just that. Didn't they think that the players would think something's wrong? Like I'm kidding you. When that first happened to me, because I heard that the demo, I heard that the game was bad, but I didn't actually look into specifics. So I went mostly blind. When they started disappearing, when I genuinely believed that there was something wrong. There was a glitch. Wait, did I do something wrong? What the hell? This is literally reverse draw distance issue. Like, usually in video games, there's this thing called draw distance, and if the draw distance is bad, like in Superman 64, if you're far away from something, it would disappear. This is the opposite. When you get close to these things, they disappear. This is reverse draw distance. This is draw distance that is in reverse. I don't understand what the fuck is going on here.
I don't get it either. Oh, anyway.
Not to mention,
you
you can interact with these things. Why are these things even in the level if you can't do anything with them? You can't talk to them. You can't do anything with them. Why are they even here?
Symbolic.
Symbolic of what? The asset this game came from? Like,
yes.
I hate to say it, guys, but I do have to wonder, what if you'll only be able to interact with them in the full game or something?
I doubt that, because that would be the worst excuse I've ever heard in my life.
And yet, I sadly can see them going to it. Now, I will say something that I guess I should give. You know what? No, I don't even know if I should give props to this, but okay, you can actually choose to change the complexion of your character's skin, so...
Which is nice. Sure.
Yeah, and it does affect the cutscenes as well. So yeah, I do respect that.
Yeah, I do.
Give them credit, the fact that they made CGI cutscenes for each of them, even if it is sort of a minuscule detail, that is something I can appreciate.
No, Square's Visual Works is pretty much like they're not the problem. Square's Visual Works department is not the problem. They're the ones who are definitely doing everything they need to.
Alright, so can I ask this one dumb question? Yes. Why the hell do you need keys in order to unlock the costumes?
I don't know. Again, the costumes are
I could understand if it was the first time. Just so it can show you, okay, here's the new power up that you need, and you have to, platform in order to get it. But it's like, no, there's this key. It's key.
And the key is
2
right
blocks
next to
away
it.
from it. And then you have to go, it's like, why?
Not just 2 blocks, Deji. The very first suit has the key right next to it. Literally right next to it. There's literally no point for this key. Not just that. It's literally... Okay, and we're doing Mario-style power-ups with the outfits. Kind of like Mario has a bee outfit and all that stuff. Let me remind everybody that the reason Naka wanted to make a fast game with Sonic was because he wanted to make... Like, I wanted to make a game that was like Mario, but fast. But this is now him going back to his roots and this time doing it different. Now, I want to make a Mario game, but slower. Like,
I am so scared to see what his original pitch for that Mario and Sonic platformer he had that Nintendo turned down.
I mean, I hate to say it, but now I'm beginning to wonder if maybe the reason we didn't get that crossover wasn't because the 2 companies were too stingy, but because what Naka presented would just made them go,
I need to go back in time and just see what exactly happened.
Dodge the bullet.
Hey, Hey, who knows? Maybe we'll get a what happened video about that.
I'm pretty sure this is what happened in the making. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
yes, it is.
Oh, yes, indeed it is. And mind you, folks, they actually have the goal to charge full price for this game. So
I was like, what?
This is a Wii game.
Like I knew about it like a few days ago before the demo drop. I was like, how much is this? Wait, 60? Oh, and I just looked at the gameplay before. I was like,
okay.
Anything
I hope
past
it's a meaty game or
Okay.
something.
For reference sake, Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time is an amazing platforming experience, except for the god-awful completion stuff. And
We don't
that
talk about
one... That one went for less, I believe.
40, I think. Not even just that, Deji. Like, this is actually something that unfortunately happens a lot in Japan because Idea Factory, the company that owns Kapal Heart, they do the same thing where they will release a JRPG that has only character models in the battles and everything else is just sprites and everything is done super cheaply, and they'll still sell that shit for you for $60. You know. Like
it's not even presentation wise. It's just the game feels like a licensed, churned out game.
No. Idea Factory's games also feel like that, Deji. That's the thing. But go ahead, Jovah.
Not only that, there needs to be enough content to justify a full price one. For as much as I don't like that they did that, Crash Bandicoot 4 justified its price point more by admittedly including in the extra levels here. How much those levels actually were differentiated, you can debate about, but
we're not here to talk about Crash 4. Yeah.
I'm just saying, unless this game has a lot more to it, I don't see it justifying a full price point. And look,
what's your opinion on the power-ups by any chance?
They're all terrible.
Ooh.
They're all terrible. Oh my god.
I'll just say this. The power-ups range from god-awful to, hey, maybe this is stuff that the character should have by default.
Yep. Not just that.
So,
some of the going back to the whole one button thing. That thing where every button is jump is replaced by every button is now the ability of this outfit.
So let me explain to the audience. There's a power up, a dragging power up, where all you do is spit fire. So, and you can get that 3 times that fills up the gauge. And if you're in a platforming section, you could potentially screw yourself over.
Like, that is so amateurish. Why would you make a power up that you can't get out of without intentionally losing it?
Why do you have to add
jump?
the fact that you can collect it 3 times? You know what would have been smarter? Say the power up builds up, so like if you get hit, you still keep it because you kept the damage, but you can still swap out. Because I am aware that like if you go to the checkpoints that you can choose the power ups that you've previously gotten and combine them, but it's like.
Supposedly, I'm guessing his idea is that we're supposed to alternate between the power-ups depending on what we need to do. The problem is, that's just adding an unnecessary extra step to things. Like, it would be so much simpler.
I'm not against having multiple power-ups and swap between them, but it's just the one-button gameplay is what hurts it. You know what would have been better? There are besides it's multiple buttons. Like, okay, the kangaroo thing, that's basically Yoshi. Why don't you combine that with the what's the thing that you do with a ground stop?
The cow thing, the pig.
Yeah, the pig. Combine the two. Because there are over 80 power-ups in this game. I'm like, are you fucking mad?
I know, right? Not to mention, you're ripping off Mario power-ups anyway. You know, well, in Mario, you can jump regardless of what the power-up is.
Yes!
Like, seriously,
Okay.
Super Mario Brothers fucking free had that.
I'm just going to say this right now. First off, how dare you make a dragon power-up so lame?
I know.
Shame on you, Naka.
Oh, you want
Secondly,
to... No, go ahead and finish your point first.
Secondly, it was at that point where I realized it. Guys, this isn't a demo. It's a goddamn open beta. Like, only in a beta would you have something that can literally wall in a player if they don't have the right credentials to move on, or if they purposely have to get hit just to progress.
So someone pointed this out.
Yeah.
This might have been a mobile game at first that they decided to port at the consoles.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But and honestly, thinking about it, it's like, oh no, that might have.
Speaking. To follow up on what Jovah was saying, you know what's interesting, because this happened to me when I first played it, so I had to restart the level. Basically, here's what you guys do: go back and play the first act of the first level, the very first one. Basically, I got myself the first power up. Then I went through there, and I was supposed to get another power up, the bunny thing that does the Yoshi thing. However, I screwed up when I was trying to jump to Balan's hat so I could start the bonus stage, and I fell into the pit and died. Then I respawned with, again, you lose your power-ups when you die. Here's the problem. Since I spawned back, the power-ups were still collected, so there were no more power-ups around. As a result, the game literally became unwinnable. So I had to.
You've got to be kidding.
The game is so poorly designed that if you're not careful, you'll make the level unwinnable.
Hey, I remember gameplay like that back in the freaking 6th.
I'm not even kidding, guys. Go back, play the first level, and do what I just described.
I believe it, and that's why I'm like, you can potentially screw yourself over in this game.
Okay. I'll just say this. This is what frightens me. When you release a demo, more often than not, that means that the game is closer to being done.
It comes out in 2 months. It better be.
This game comes out the same day as Monster Hunter Rise,
and it's gonna die. Yeah.
So this is what frightens me. If this is what was in the demo, you literally being able to lock yourself off, and mind you, this being a full-price game, something that Square is apparently hedging all their bets on whether or not they'll do another 3D platformer or whatnot anytime soon, I do have to wonder, were Square hoping that this would fail? I know it sounds like conspiracy thinking, but seriously, Square had to have looked at this game at some point. Surely
Jovah, I don't know, because this is the same company that gave us the Avengers.
Quiet Man.
That's the thing, Jove. I can tell you that because I actually know that from experience. That's the thing. See, here's the thing. When it comes to Square doing their partnerships with their Western developer, I know this is not a Western developer, but like they're outside developers that are technically not within the company itself. Like they tend to, and this is to their credit. The problem is, this is a double-edged sword. They tend to give their developers a lot of creative freedom and just let them do their thing, because that was the same thing that also screwed over the Quiet Man, because they allowed the developers just do what they thought was best, and that turned out to be a pretentious pile of garbage. Same thing here, they allowed Naka to just do his thing because he's an industry veteran. He probably knows what he's doing. So that was their perspective, and to their credit, it's a double-edged sword. Again, it's nice that you're allowing the creator to do his thing, but at the same time, you have to hire creators that you can trust. That's the problem.
No, okay, I get giving them creative freedom initially, but surely at some point during development they'd have come in and noticed the issues.
That's the thing, Joe. I don't think they do that much quality control when it comes to the out developers that partner with them outside of the company itself. They just allow them to be like, it's the company's way of saying, we're taking a risk on this different thing, basically, and letting.
I think the sad thing is that from what I've heard, this is apparently what they're hedging all their bets on, how much they're gonna do platformers and whatnot, and like, I'm just saying, unless this game is being horribly misrepresented by this demo, it's in trouble.
That's incredibly doubtful. Not just that.
Okay.
I love how they released this demo. Forget the whole price. They have the balls to release this price thing. The fact that they even thought, yes, let's release this demo exactly as it is, and apparently the people who released this demo, Naka and his team were like, let's put this demo out for people to try it out, because we're very proud of this, to the point where we're going to allow people to experience like half the game or however long this game is, because it's a long demo. Like, Naka was so confident in this bloody thing that he released a meaty demo full of content, and apparently nobody told him that this demo sucks balls.
Like, again, when...
There's a Rayman power-up in this game, and it's absolutely terrible.
Okay. So are we
It's
gonna
like they looked at every single 3D platformer out there, and it's like, hey, I want to do a homage to that. Make it worse.
So, Dej, do we want to mention all the power-ups in this game? Well, at least in the demo.
Yeah, okay, so there's the wolf, which is basically Crash Bandicoot. So you do a twirl. Unfortunately, you don't get much airtime, so it's just a glorified attack. Like, you can jump, but it's still not as good as you want it. There's the kangaroo, which is just Yoshi's flutter jump. So you get better airtime, but again, the jumping isn't as good as what you would play in a Mario or Crash game.
Uh-huh.
There's the cow, which is basically Yoshi's Stomp. Where, again, Yoshi's Stomp, you hit some context-sensitive things that you need to hit on, and yeah. There's the dragon, and where you just fire,
So basically,
fire
Mario without the jump.
Or I was gonna say Bowser.
That's the thing, Jovah. Every power-up outfit in this game is something without something. So
there's the Elastiplant, which is basically the onion from Super Mario Odyssey.
Except it's not fun to use. So
remind me, Dej, with the jumping power-ups, could we jump on the enemies and kill them?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Right, yeah, I thought so. I just wanted to make sure. That's the thing. Even though I played 2 versions of this demo, not all of it is that memorable.
There's the sheep, which is basically the No, what? You've played Super Mario 64 DS or Super Mario World?
Yes.
The pea thing that turns Mario fat?
Yes.
It's basically that, but it only works when you're on giant fans that push you. So that's basically a situational power-up, that's fine. Like, if that's the one exclusive thing, I wouldn't be complaining.
I guess in this world, sheep are like balloons.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I get that it's a kooky world, but it doesn't always have the most sound logic. And I know, kooky world, but even kooky stuff needs to have its own rhyme or reason. Otherwise, you just have...
There's the Aerobat, which is basically the homing attack, but bad.
Yep.
Have fun doing that.
Pedro, it's worse than the Avatar's homing attack in Forces.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, jeez.
And you know how much I dislike the Avatar gameplay.
No, I don't like it either, because the acceleration on the Avatar is terrible. But hey, Deji, I just thought of something. Remember how when the Sega Technical Institute presented the demo of Sonic Extreme to Naka, and Naka's reply was, "Good luck." He just kind of nodded in. He clearly didn't. He clearly knew it was bad. He said, "Good luck, I guess." Okay, and I'm picturing.
If you want an example of how it is, there.
Yeah, sure. Can you imagine, Deji, if Naka was making this for Nintendo and Koizumi was the one looking at it? he
told him to revamp this entire game.
Naka-san, please revamp this crap. You are not releasing this with my name on it. Because I happen to like the prestige that my name has. Go ahead.
Oh, Pedro, I think even Shigeru Miyamoto, who's one of the older developers, would have probably have given him a lecture on everything.
He gave us Star Fox Zero.
Yeah. And
Wii Music. Awful game.
And Wii Music.
Oh, wait. He was behind Wii Music?
Yeah, he was.
He just presented it.
Well, that's remember, Jovah, the reason we got...
power-ups. There's the Box Fox, which... I didn't experience this, but I saw it. It just turns you into a box, does nothing. It's literally a joke power-up.
Yay!
So it's like Sleep Kirby, completely useless.
Let me see.
Oh my! But I did experience these last two.
Sorry.
There's Gear Prince, which turns you into a gear, and it's extremely situational because you have to go to a certain section in order to turn gears, in order to open doors or move the stairs. It's not good. And finally, there's Pumpkin Puncher, which is just Rayman punching his long arms, long reach, and it's like...
Fucking brilliant.
I can't jump. If I could jump, I like it. It's like...
So here's
oops.
the thing. If you want to make a platformer where the character can jump, bit of a word to the wise here. Tailor the levels properly to that.
Can you even call it a platformer if you can't jump? Because no, Captain Toad is not a platformer. It's a puzzle adventure game.
There's 12 chapters in this game.
I get that.
Wait,
oh my god.
Wait. How many chapters?
12.
So
if it's doing the 2-act structure like Sonic, is like, oh my god.
So basically, this demo is half of the game. That's what I'm telling you.
Not really half of the game, because you play 2 acts for the first world. You play the complete of the first world, then you play 1 level of World 4 and 1 level of World 6.
Oh, okay.
So technically, kind of 4 levels, or is it 3?
Whatever. Nothing else in this demo makes any sense. Why should the structure make any sense?
Basically, imagine Sonic 1 where you go to Green Hill Zone, complete that, and then they give you, okay, you can play Chemical Plant Zone, just the first act.
This game feels
Stardust Speedway, just the first act, etc.
Okay, so essentially 4 levels. So basically the way it's probably going to work is that each chapter gets 2 levels.
Yeah, like as far as we're aware, there's only 12 chapters. There could be more.
This game feels like it was made...
sounds like a setup for 24 levels so far.
Yeah. This game feels like it was made by a bunch of amateurs who have never made a game before.
So it's Mighty Number 9 all over again.
Because Mighty Number 9 was made by people who actually have made Mega Man games. They made the Zero, ZX...
Inti Creates also worked on Mega Man 9 and 10.
Well, that's my point, Dez. It's like, this is made by Yuji freaking Naka, who should know better, but is also doing amateurish things.
Again, this is the thing. Again, this is the problem. Naka is not a creative head. He's a programmer. That's what he does. And putting him in charge of a project just doesn't work. As a director,
I can't even say the same thing with Oshima, because again, his company. Let me see if what games he
directed. He directed the first Nights, like I said. He was the one who.
But that was how many years ago?
Well, yeah, but at the very least, he has experience as a director, unlike Naka. You know,
So.
He also directed Sonic CD. I don't know if you like Sonic CD.
That's not a good game. Sorry.
Well.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. I acknowledge that Sonic CD has issues, but I feel like it's the kind of game that works if you know what you're getting yourself into. Sure, the level design is not...
Actually, he directed Burning Rangers, which I heard is good.
Yeah, that is good.
He did the Blinks games.
Yeah, the Blinks games, and those are good. Yeah.
So, guys, why don't we tell
he was the developmental producer of Yoshi's New Island. So
True. But at the same time...
And Hey Pikmin.
True, but like you said, development producer, not director. As a director, he has a good enough track record. Why couldn't he direct this game? And Naka did the programming. You know, like the good old days. That's what happens in Nights. For those who don't know, in the first Nights into Dreams, it was the trio. Oshima, who did the story and direction. Iizuka did the game design. And Naka did the programming. There you go. See, all three of them doing what suits them. You know,
Naka has only besides Balan, according to Wikipedia, Naka has only directed one game.
What is?
And that's Choo Choo Rocket.
Oh, I love Choo Choo Rocket, so I guess yeah. But then again, Choo Choo Rocket, how easily can you screw up Choo Choo Rocket? It's like the simplest game to make.
Moving on back to the gameplay, Dej, why don't we talk about how our two characters factor into this gameplay-wise? Like, you know, compare this to, say, Nights, where it was basically you picked a playthrough of Will, or a playthrough of Helen, or a playthrough of Claire, or a playthrough of Elliot. So, Dej, in Balan Worldworld, how do our two characters factor in?
Basically, they're the same, so it's made for co-op as well.
So, basically, you gave us two cutscenes, but they're literally just a matter of who you play as.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I mean, I guess it gives a sense of togetherness, but I'm like, maybe it might have saved more time if Leo and Emma were siblings or whatnot. Like, okay, part of the idea with Knights was essentially
But
that
Jova,
these
don't
were
you know?
two-
Don't you remember the lyric from the song? I found the one I've waited for. Don't you see? They're supposed to find
my
each other, Jova.
But that's
You know what this game is supposed to be? What it's trying to imitate? A Disney movie.
Well, that's what.
Especially with the
yeah.
singing and dancing. It's like,
Well, here's the thing. Okay, to be fair, it's inspired by musical theater. That's fine. I mean, it's more so the fact that, again, like, you can make something whimsical, but make it good. This is the problem, that this game only has pretty visuals in the CG cutscenes, at least. This game move. Okay, and for the sake of at the very least saying the one positive thing in this game, the music is really good. Ryo Amazuki. Like, I like the music in this game. It's not
the guy who composed Chrono Trigger and other Square stuff.
Well, actually, no. The music of Chrono Trigger was composed by Mitsuda.
He worked on it. I looked it up.
Oh, you did?
Earlier.
Okay. Well, regardless, the point is, yeah, the composer. It's not like an amazing soundtrack or anything, but it is pretty good. It's definitely the one best thing that this game has to offer. I can tell you that. That's not saying much, but yeah.
Now, the reason I brought up the two playable characters thing is like, well, again, I wonder, are they supposed to be like two separate campaigns for the actual thing, and just for the sake of the demo, they showed that they can show up here and there? Now, the thing in Knights was that essentially, humans who had dreams were not supposed to run into each other at the time. Apparently, the two-player characters' dreams are happening simultaneously, as explained.
Correction. It's Chrono Cross. My apologies.
Chrono Cross. There you go. But yeah, the point in Knights was like, well, the two humans were not supposed to interact with each other. Sure, stuff was going on at the same time, but it was different stuff, admittedly. And the rules of the Dreamer were that they were never supposed to interact with each other, which made it a pinnacle moment when they actually did have to unite forces and show the powers of two Dreamers. Whereas here, well, again, I don't even know enough about this world to know if this should or should not be the case, because they're clearly going for a night thing, but I just have to wonder, what links them together? Like, did I miss something in the cutscene? But I don't really get how they're suddenly linked together. Pedro, did I miss something? Because otherwise, I don't think the game explains it well.
No.
Jova, that would imply that the game explains anything.
That's just the thing about
Actually,
this game.
thinking about, does it explain anything?
This game,
It feels like this is a game. It's like, hey, you played a platform. You played Mario before.
This game,
Yeah.
this game is the first Sonic Riders all over again. This game's idea is that in order to teach your child to swim, just pick that child up and throw him into the swimming pool. Like, seriously.
I mean, okay. At least with Sonic Riders, there was actually good gameplay nestled under that. Now, imagine Sonic Riders was made of crap gameplay. Well, here's the thing, Dad. Sonic Riders essentially is a good game, but it has a very, very, very steep learning curve.
If you'll allow me, Jova, let me put that this, Deji. Sonic Riders, at least in my opinion, doesn't have a difficulty curve. It's not a curve. It's a wall that you have to find a way to climb over, because the difficulty curve in that game is ridiculous. If you manage to get over that wall, you'll find a really good game. It's just a matter of not if you can climb the wall, because a lot of people cannot climb that wall because it's very hard to climb it. But go ahead.
Pretty much, yeah. Now, this... the problem with this game is this, from what was actually explained, like I said, by reading the bio, which I had to go manually and look at, I found out that apparently Leo's problem is that he feels antisocial because he got into a fight with his friend, which is not conveyed at all by the cutscene.
Yeah,
so,
which we've explained.
So, but yeah, I mean, again, if this is their best foot forward with the demo, I don't know what's actually going to go on with the game. Maybe this will get explained in the game, but I think people need to realize that a demo needs to be able to stand on its own to some degree. And
you know the expression that demos are what convince people to go buy a game?
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, this game you convinced me I should stay far away from it or get it at a.
That's why I asked that thing earlier. The fact that they fought, the fact that they were so confident in this game to the point of releasing such a meaty demo, they were so convinced that this game was going to instantly sell people on this.
Oh, right. Wait, Jovah, we forgot to mention something. In order to unlock those other levels, you have to collect the Balan trophies. Unfortunately, the platforming isn't really that well, so it's not like a Mario or I guess Sonic or a Spyro or Crash where you can actually MacGyver your way towards getting it.
That's a good point.
It's like.
You have to be incredibly precise.
Yeah, that's a good point we didn't mention. I don't think we talked about the jumping specifically. The jumping is not only slow, but it's also short, and it just feels wrong.
Air movement is terrible. Like, it feels like they were going for a weird, skewed sense of realism because, hey, in real life, you wouldn't be able to move around.
Yes, realism in fucking Balan Worldworld. Great idea.
But yeah. So let me get this straight. In this demo that you made, in order to artificially elongate playtime, you locked levels behind these weird collectible things.
I mean, that's normal. We've played other 3D, like Mario 3D World, which comes out next month. Has actually a few days since the time we were recording this. And you have to collect green stars in order to unlock some levels. That's normal.
True. Yeah. I get that. It's just that I think in this game it feels like it wasn't made around it properly, in a sense. Maybe it's just because the controls suck that much, but it feels cumbersome.
Yes.
What did you think of how they hid some of them?
It's terrible because exploring is a chore. This isn't fun. I'm sorry.
No, not just that. The levels are so unnecessarily... Like, seriously, not to mention, the levels... This is another thing about the level design. The levels are not designed to take advantage of the power-ups. And yes, I understand that there are some people out there who have this issue in some Mario games where they don't like it when the power-ups feel situational. I never minded that personally. I understand the complaint, don't get me wrong, but I still think I can understand why a developer would decide to make a level like that. You know, if you're gonna put a power up in a level, might as well have the level, make the power up useful. It's all about how you do it, and I think the Mario games do it well enough. But this game, on the other hand, there's literally no point in most of these power-ups. Most of them don't do jack shit.
I did notice something. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but did you see any spider webs there in the levels?
I think I may have.
Yeah, so that's a power up you unlock in a later level. So they want you to replay it in order to find more stuff. Which is, I can understand replay value. The problem is your levels aren't fun to go through. You need that there's no incentive.
This is, I guess, part of why I feel inherently like this game is not really made around collecting stuff that well, just strictly off of how bad the gameplay is. And some of those things are incredibly precise.
Mm-hmm.
Do you... Okay, so... Yuji Naka said months ago, and everyone is quote tweeting it now, the article. Square gave him one chance in order to make this game. And from what we've experienced, one button as well. I need to know, do you think that with the reception this game is getting and what people have been saying on their Twitter, on the replies to their Twitter account, do you believe that they might delay this game?
They have to. What I fear,
it depends on Square Enix. Is Square Enix actually willing? Is Square Enix actually willing to try to make this a good game, or are they literally just sending this game out to die?
It also depends on Naka's ego as well. Like, don't get me wrong, Naka has a bit of an ego issue here.
Oh God, yes he does. Have you seen his Twitter?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's always been the problem with him, Deji. It started immediately after Sonic 1. Immediately after Sonic 1, the reason he went to America to make Sonic 2 and 3 is because he wasn't getting along with the people at Sega Japan. Naka is known for being an incredibly hard person to work with because he's so stuck up and completely impossible to reason with a lot of times.
If Izuka
So what
was
you're
the-
saying is Naka is what a lot of people think Miyamoto is.
Well, Miyamoto's problem is a different one. Miyamoto's problem is that
he's talking about what people mistakenly think.
Like
with
he's
Miyamoto.
stubborn.
Yeah.
And he's the reason why things aren't the way they are because it's all his
Sure,
faults
sure,
and difficult. That's what people make it out to be. But it's like,
Sure. It's
But-
just back to the levels real quick though. Again, most of the levels in this game, from what I've seen, can be completed almost entirely without the power-ups anyway. So what the fuck is the point of these things most of the time?
because they want you to explore in order to because you need a certain amount of trophies in order to unlock the next level.
This-
And that's just the problem.
It's a-
feels
Oh yes, of course. How good of the game to tell me that. I
like, okay, look. It's one thing to make a platformer, but if you want to make a platformer that centers around collecting stuff, you best make sure that the base gameplay is actually fun. Super Mario Odyssey
And self-explanatory.
is a joy.
while we're
That's what I
at it,
did.
might as well
Super Mario
help.
Odyssey is one of the greatest joys of 3D platformer I have ever had the honor of playing. I'm still to this day finding out new cool tricks and methods that I can use because the team went, okay, you know what? We don't want to railroad players into having to play things a certain way. Let them discover all the cool tricks they can do, and if they break the game, so be it, but it'll look pretty awesome when they do it.
Yep.
Like, from so much as the wall bounce to the
Not even
cat wall bounce.
Not even just that, Jovah. The developers intended for you to do it anyway because you can see this on YouTube. There are clips of people using abilities to get to places that you wouldn't think you'd be able to get to. And when you get to those places, there's coins there. The developers knew that it was possible to do, so they put it there as a reward for people who managed to do it.
Pretty much, yeah. This game, it feels like the worst of both worlds. The base gameplay is not fun, and the actual collectibles feel in a way that's very well railroading you here and there.
Mm-hmm. And hell, Jovah, forget Super Mario Odyssey. I can bring up Super Mario 64, the first collectathon platformer. The game that, if it wasn't for that game, this game wouldn't even exist. Balan Worldworld doesn't explain a goddamn thing to you about how things work. You know what game does? Super Mario 64. Super Mario 64, the moment you enter the game, immediately the game has a text box explain to you what button does what. And then you talk to the Toads, and the Toads explain even more things to you. There's even signs that you can read. That game actually explains shit to you.
And you know
Then
what
again,
it
that's
does?
again. I feel like this is Naka's design mentality at work. Because again, Sonic 1, the game, unless you read the manual, it doesn't explain. It just hold right, hold left, jump.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's because the whole point is a simple design, easy to learn but difficult to master.
Exactly. Like Knights is the same way.
Yeah, from what I've told, because that's why it's like you have to put in time in order to truly appreciate it. You're not gonna easily get it at your first attempt.
Like, I do wonder if Naka is going with the mentality of trying to be like, hey, I get you players, you don't like being spoon-fed information, or, it would be just way too video gamey if we had signs explaining all the controls here and there. No. Let's let you figure it out.
You don't
here
even
and
need
there.
science. You can just explain it through like
Balan
text or
himself.
Yeah.
I don't.
Why not have Balan himself to show up and say, hey, player, this or that here and there? Oh yeah, can we talk about Balan himself and how he's integrated into the levels?
We already did.
Let's talk about the mini games. The way he shows up in level.
The QTEs, yeah, we talked about it.
No, but that's aside from that. He also
I think
shows
we should
up in the
actually
levels
go into
themselves. Like when you sometimes when you open up, when you get your first trophy, he shows up and he explains what that trophy is, or
Yeah.
kind
So
of.
you have him explain the trophy after we first collect it.
Not just that.
I mean,
Which
Why
is
could-
normal.
Yeah, why can't Balan show up in the level itself and explain to us how the gameplay works?
I mean, Lord knows it would be better than what he has for most of it. Again, the game's named after him, but he doesn't have that much of a presence. And before anyone brings up Legend of Zelda, first, shut up.
It's
Two, not really a good excuse.
I was going to say, he's more like, if you ever watch Class of 3000, he's the Sonny Bridges. He's not the man. It is technically called about, it is about his world, but you're playing it from the eyes of the children.
It's like if Naka knew that people for the most part didn't like Owl in Journey of Dreams, so he decided he wanted to avoid having a tutorial character at all. Hey, Jovah, if you collect all the dream drops, they'll appear in this fountain. Did I mention that? Since the last time I mentioned that? If you collect all the dream drops, they'll show up in this fountain.
Okay. I acknowledge that was a bit annoying, but you know what? I'll take that over not getting anything, period. And, to be fair, what you do get with those dream drops was actually a pretty cool reward, being able to turn into the old characters.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, here it's pretty much the opposite. But Balan himself, gameplay-wise and character-wise, what's your thoughts on him?
I don't care.
How exactly am I supposed to give my thoughts on a character that got zero characterization so far?
But
he does. He's extremely wacky and full of life. It's like, okay.
But guys, he has a rival, Lance.
Yes, of course, because he's the knight, so he has to have his Riala.
I guess we should talk about Lance when we get into a later level, but I guess we should go back to talking about level 1 as a whole.
I think we pretty much already ran that course to the ground.
Okay, so this is new territory for me as well. So what happens in level 2?
No, you mean world?
World 2, whatever.
World 4.
After you let me rephrase that. After you save the farmer, what happens after
World
that?
4 is basically, visually, it reminds me of like the Wizard's Peak world from Spyro.
Okay, the snow level. Okay.
Well, it's not really a snow level, but it's more like a sunset.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
That's what it reminds me of, but it's also when you're introduced to the sheep power up and the bat.
Gotta have the sheep.
I beat it on a complete, but not the way that they intended me. I was like, I can't go back. So I didn't want to replay the levels. So I just went ahead and did what I needed to do, and it's the most whatever level in the entire game. Like I said, I already posted a clip of the me using the bat.
Yeah, no, the homing attack thing. Yeah, I saw that as well. Like, seriously. Also, Arrow Acrobat. Is
that the name of a Genesis Super Nintendo?
It seems like it is. Yeah, it seems like it's a reference to that game. Why reference that game of all things? I don't understand why, but whatever. But yeah, no, it looks so bad. The Arrow Acrobat thing. Jesus. Ugh. Carry on.
What's your thoughts on that level, Jovah?
It's a level.
Run it by me again. I just have trouble remembering these levels. They're just so... Okay.
It's land. It's platforms. It's things that you do. It's literally the most personality-deprived game I've played in years.
It has personality. It's just not good.
It's personality in all the wrong ways. Like, this is one of the first times I've ever had this much trouble trying to remember stuff from a game.
Okay, let me rephrase that then. The levels have no personality. There's literally nothing memorable about those levels. They're just...
The next level, World 6, it's TikTok Clock.
Oh, okay, this one I actually do remember because it's
You're basically
annoying.
in a clock tower with gears.
Okay.
I think that sounds interesting, but the platforming is terrible in that level.
I didn't even like TikTok Clock, so I can only imagine.
Oh God, we haven't even talked about the camera.
Oh God.
Right, the camera. Oh, take it away, Ted.
No, you go ahead, because yeah.
The camera in this game is, well, I'm trying to think of other ways to say amateurish because we've been saying it so much, but
Well,
I'll just say
Jovah,
this.
look at it this way: it's a game. It's supposedly a Sonic Team thing that so of course in a 3D game you gotta have a bad camera, just like the 3D Sonic games and stuff
Honestly, it's worse than the Sonic games in that regard. The Sonic games, for the most part, have a good and fixed camera here. Here, it feels like the camera is constantly fighting against me. It's like the camera is an enemy in the game itself.
Why are you fighting me, camera?
No,
Why?
I kid you not. What did you think of the camera, Deji?
That's
not at all.
It doesn't work.
I don't think I've played enough to properly assess my thoughts on the camera, but yeah, it didn't really strike me as a good camera either. So whatever.
Basically, folks, the way the camera works is, well, it does stay kind of fixed on your character, but with a lot of bad 3D platformer games, you have to do a lot of the work yourself in making the camera not sort of trick you to your doom. It's a bit hard to explain, but try playing it for yourself, essentially. It's a crap camera.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to think of things that aren't crap in this game. So,
Basically.
Dej, what was...
No, go on.
So, Dej, what was your favorite level in the game?
I don't know.
That's like asking. Okay, Deji, which of these piles of crap smell better?
I want to say the later levels, maybe, because again, that one actually had a nugget of an idea of a game that's meant to be made.
The problem is, it's still Balan Worldworld as we know it.
That's like like I said, that's like Naka coming in. It's 12 worlds, right? Right?
12.
Yeah.
12
As far as we're
So
aware.
what you're basically doing the job is it's the equivalent of Naka coming in front of Deji, shitting 12 times and ask him, okay, which of these smells better? That's basically it.
Oh my
And he had
God.
diarrhea.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So, but yeah, all the levels feel like they
He's
have
been
their
working
own
at Square since 2018 and announced that he was working on this game back in 2019. September of 2019, so it's like
So basically,
So-
here's what he did. Forgot an entire year he was on vacation, and in the last, I don't know, couple weeks, he put this together. There you go.
he spent most of the budget making buying Ferraris.
Yeah.
Good God. But okay, so... Okay, let's talk about Lance, since, he's a thing.
Okay, so what exactly is Lance all about? Do we actually learn
Darkness.
something about him?
Darkness.
It's basically Balan, but darkness.
Well, yeah, that's what reality is as well, kind of. So I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, that's it. Darkness. we know
okay.
jack shit about this guy.
I'll just say this, Riala had more of a character. Sure, yeah, he was definitely serving wise men, but he had his own snark and malice to him. Lance just feels like...
Gotta have a villain. So here it is.
Yeah, pretty much, and his design is...
No, I like his design.
It's fine.
I actually see where Deji's coming from. It looks like every generic fantasy Lord of Darkness design you've ever seen.
I'll just say this. I do wonder if Lance is supposed to be the main bad guy.
Sorry,
or
no,
if
not
he's
Deji.
gonna be
Jovah.
like-
That's what I said. I can see where Jovah's coming from. Sorry. Ugh, completely messed up that up
Yeah.
there.
Balan just looks like Cappy from Super Mario Odyssey captured Knights and took its body.
Pretty much, yeah. Okay, that's another thing I want to talk about this game, the character designs here. Now, the artwork itself is very good, mainly for the CGI stuff, but the character designs themselves are... Well, okay, look, when this game was first shown, a lot of people fawned over the character designs, and I can understand why, It was definitely shown in its best
Well,
light
it's
here.
Naoto Oshima. There's a reason why. For example, for as troubled as the Sonic CD's gameplay is, of all the 4 classic Sonic games, it's the one that looks more creative visually. If nothing else, Naoto Oshima is a fantastic visual artist. So
that being said, though, having looked in further into this game, though, the character design, and this may not be Oshima's own fault, like, for all we know, he was directed by Naka to make the characters look like this here and there. I don't think Lance's design is necessarily bad, but like Pedro said, my issue is like, well, it does feel like your typical darkness variant. I mean, I guess he looks more interesting than Balan himself.
So, how does this connect to the Kingdom Hearts timeline?
just to check, Jovah, are you talking about the artwork, the actual designs that he drew, or the character models? Because Oshima didn't do the character. Oshima didn't do the character models. We have to remember that.
I'm talking more so about the design.
What if this game actually has a reference in the next Kingdom Hearts game where Sora is in the square dimension?
I'm gonna see.
It's a possibility.
It's like, hi, I'm Balan. He'll be a summon, and he'll only be remembered like how people remember Chicken Little in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find some artwork on it. Go ahead.
Is there any possible way this game can actually turn out to be good?
No, because it wouldn't make any sense for this demo to be somehow. So you're telling me that 2 months away from release, the demo that they release is a demo that is in no way, resembling of the final product. Then what the fuck did you put out this demo for?
You know what I wish they did? I wish they did what Square did with Bravely Default 2, where they had a demo and and had people's feedback.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because if they just released that demo and it's like, here's your feedback, I would write a 3-page essay.
Oh yeah,
No. The Tomoya Asano and his team are really good about that. That's cool. I just found
question though.
Go ahead.
Have any of you guys played Billy Hatcher?
Yes.
No, I haven't yet.
Because that's the closest what people have been making comparisons.
I've heard that too. Yes, I haven't actually tried it myself
though. Comparisons too. Like I said, as someone who's played both, I feel so much more so like this feels more like a Knights game, just based off of the human gameplay. I do get the similarities, but here's the thing. Billy Hatcher was a game that actually worked around how it was designed here and there. This game does not feel like it.
Yeah. Let me see if I can... I just found Lance's artwork as drawn by Oshima himself. Yeah, the actual drawing itself, it's one of those clear cases where, again, the terrible 3D character rendering does a terrible job of conveying Oshima's artwork.
That reminds me of one of the characters from Sonic Shuffle.
Yeah, that's not surprising at all, because that's exactly the same kind of aesthetic. Let me see if I can find Balan's artwork.
I do get the feeling that, depending on how this game turns out, might also influence how I feel about the character designs here. I'll just put it like this. I feel like the character designs are not bad. I actually more like them than dislike them, but something about them feels off.
I will say that the one character model that actually properly represents the Oshima's artwork is definitely Balan's model. Balan's model, I don't really have any issue. It's basically really perfectly captures what the drawing is. It's just literally the drawing. So I have no problems with that. But yeah, when I've Lance model,
human boy though, it looks like Oshima's take on Human Sonic. Was it Oshima that designed Human Sonic, or was it the guy who does the Sonic Channel artwork?
I forgot.
Yuji Ukawa, I'm an idiot. That's his name.
Oh, I know. Yuji Ukawa is awesome. I love Yuji Ukawa.
But yeah, that's just the thing about this. I feel like this should have been an open beta, or at the very least, this should have been a demo meant to test feedback. And from what I've garnered, that is not the case in either case. So I really do hope that they do take feedback into mind, because, oh boy.
Again, I guess if I'm going to give it at the very least another positive compliment, just like with the rendering of the visuals themselves, the Square's Visual Works department rendered Oshima's artwork, well, really brilliantly. The characters in the CG cutscenes look exactly like how 3D versions of these drawings would look like. So, again, if there's one department from Square that can definitely be congratulated upon, is the music department and the visuals. The CG cutscenes, the visual works department. So those guys, they're not the problem. Those guys. Okay, you are not the problem. You guys are just casualties of this circumstances. So we'll let you off scot-free.
So what did you think of the ending of the demo, Deji?
What was the ending?
Oh wait, there's an ending to the demo?
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Wait, what happens?
There was. Was there an ending cutscene?
No.
Oh shoot! Never mind.
Are you talking about after the boss fight?
Yes.
Lame.
It really is one of those things where, again, it's one of those things where
I was expecting them to break into that High School Musical song. We're all in this together.
It really is one of those cases where I just maybe the story itself will be better when you actually see all the cutscene stuff but at the same time, like seriously, how about this? Okay, so you guys told me that there's only one act from World 4 and 6, right?
Pretty much. With the first world, essentially, we got to see the two worlds the two levels that it consists of, but everything else just gets the one.
So, hold on. Chapter 1, the one with the farmer, that's the only one that's entirely complete, it seems, then, right?
Unless they are actually giving 3 levels per world or something.
Okay, going off the assumption that one is complete.
Yes.
They include that first level, and to be fair, there are some cutscenes. Actually, you know what? We didn't talk about this for a moment, so let me talk about those. There's CG cutscenes at the beginning, but then in the midst of the level, there's cutscenes that are basically slideshows. Like here's the thing that's supposed to make us care about the farmer. Well, remember when we get to the farmer, and they show this.
All right.
They show this still. They show this still show where we see him take care of the farm just for like a couple of seconds, and then suddenly it starts raining. And this supposedly, I thought that rain was good for you. I thought that rain was good for your crops. Why is this a problem? Whatever.
Maybe he's afraid of it drowning them out. Whatever, not explained well.
And then, of course,
I guess it was a horrible storm rather than the rain that he hoped for.
It's a horrible storm, but again, the game has the presentation of these scenes has all the nuance and heart of a fucking potato. So I can't for the life of me even feel anything with this. And like Deji said, we didn't cover this. At the end of the level, we dance with the fucking farmer, and I get it. This is inspired by musical theater. Okay, but is there any actual reason for why everybody's constantly dancing in this game?
Because it looks cute
and whimsical.
Yes, of course. Because when Stanley and Troll in Central Park kept constantly smiling and constantly making flowers dance, that was whimsical and cute as well, wasn't it? Like
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Troll in Central Park. You've never seen it. If you've never seen it, don't worry, you're better off. But the movie that destroyed Don Bluth's career.
Explain. Oh no! I wasn't going to explain to you about that. I was going to talk about why the over-whimsical nature here doesn't work. Let's compare this again to Nights, specifically Nights Journey of Dreams here. That game literally has a level where you perform in a flying concert, where you perform the very theme of it. And if you play it just right, the Nightopians, basically the cute little NPCs that inhabit the world...
The Chow before they became Chow, for those who don't know.
Ironically enough, but yeah. Basically, they sing the night theme along with you. That's nice and whimsical, but it doesn't interfere with the overall nuanced nature of it, but it's in a way that works here.
Not just that, the theme itself is just so beautiful that that it's just like the idea of us actually performing it via a nice little mini game is just a really cool idea anyway. So
I want you guys to listen to what I'm about to say. I want you to know if this sounds familiar in the slightest. The ideas that are right there, I understand what they're trying to do. I can say that it has potential, but it's poorly executed.
Well, obviously.
Sound familiar?
Oh, boy. Yes. Yes, it does.
It's good to see that Naka is channeling that early 2000s Sonic Team energy.
Not just that. Here. Let me throw in a shameless plug for the SCWRM channel. Jovah is constantly saying that exact same thing about Final Fantasy VIII in the run that will be uploaded soon. So there's that. So there's a shameless plug right there.
Hey, don't you see? He's channeling both 2000 Sonic Team and late 90s Square.
There you go. See?
Wow, no wonder he was a perfect hire for them.
Well, yeah. I mean, Square have their own issues that they still fall into, so yeah.
We were so close from Naka working at Nintendo, and I'm just like, man.
I wonder.
No, it's Azuhara that works at Nintendo now.
No, he works for Unity. Because he was doing jack at Nintendo. They had him working on those Mario vs. Donkey Kong games. What a waste of talent.
Would it have been better if Naka worked at Nintendo? Because Nintendo might have held him to a better standard here.
I don't know.
So here's the thing about Nintendo. Nintendo do have a lot of issues here, especially with how they've been treating some consumers or people who like to make fan content. You all have heard the story, yada, yada, yada. But if there's one thing I have seen that they've done better than a lot of companies, it's managing their companies and treating their employees well, while also still holding them to a standard of quality here and there these days, essentially.
Yeah,
again,
to be fair,
I can't, because look at Yoshihara. He was basically he was doing jack shit. Because he works at NTL, Nintendo Software Technologies, the guys who tried to make Project Hammer and ran out a lot of money and caused damages, so they were never trusted with anything ever again, which is why we don't have a new race.
Which, to be fair, after that fiasco, I can kind of see why Nintendo would have been a bit wary, but that's the thing. When Nintendo don't give people another chance, they usually have a very, very good reason for it. Here and there, for the most part. I'm not going to act like they're perfect either, but they so far have been a company that, for the most part, can make good of stuff that they have with here and there. But I really do wonder, okay, I do feel like there are multiple people at fault with this title. Yuji Naka is definitely at the forefront, but I do think that Square needs to, at this point, learn that maybe they should try handling these new partnerships better here. Between Quiet Man, some of the Tomb Raider stuff, and now this game.
Here's what you should do. It's like I said before. Trust your creator, trust your partners, but hire partners that you can trust in. And someone who you think, talk to them, have them pitch shit to you, and look into it. Don't just immediately okay, there you go, you want a partner, sure, go ahead, here's $1 billion, go ahead and make that game.
And like I said, the frustrating thing is that this is apparently what Square might be basing ever doing another platformer for quite a while based off of.
We're never getting a new Gex game, and
that hurts.
Well, that's well, when it comes to that alone is just when it comes to these things, I just with Square, this is literally their first platformer, and so I think even they themselves are not particularly interested in getting into 3D platformers. This was made because, okay, fine, you'll get one chance, see what you can make. So that's a bit. I get the feeling Square wasn't even interested to begin with. Even if, okay, let's put it for a moment that this game was amazing. Let's put it for a moment that this game was the bee's knees. Even if this game was the bee's knees, and even if it sold well, most likely it's not like Square would suddenly consider making other 3D platformers outside of Balan Company. Probably Balan Company would just be making their own thing, and Square would most likely. I don't really get the feeling that Square would potentially make 3D platformers now a big focus of the company, just because of Balan Worldworld. To be honest with you.
Speaking of which, how much of a bad idea was it to name their company after literally their first game? Okay, even if this game
Sonic Team
turning out to be a
I was gonna say Sonic Team.
Okay, remind me, did they call themselves Sonic Team though upon releasing the
Sonic
first
1
game?
When you start up Sonic 1, Jovah, after the Sega logo, literally what it says is Sonic Team Presents. So yeah, they called themselves Sonic Team right from the get-go. So yeah.
Fair enough, I guess. It's just that, I don't know, okay, maybe it's because Sonic actually worked out for them, but something about naming, Balan Company after this,
Well,
guess,
but Jovah, if Sonic 1 hadn't worked out, it would be the exact same situation as this one. Literally the same.
I guess the reason it feels different is because, to be fair, that was back in, like, the 90s, with such things as such as, like, the console platformer, mascot wars and whatnot. So, in a sense, I can see, I get the feeling that back then, making a team for one particular game and then shelving it if it didn't work out was a lot more common back then, especially with games not costing as much to make back then.
I can see your point, but at the same time, you're missing one detail: is that it was because of Sonic's success that the mascot war started. All the mascots that came in the 90s was because of Sonic's success. Because before Sonic, nobody even dared to try to make a mascot to rival Mario. It was after Sonic.
The people did. Mega Man. Well, they did try to copy Mario.
Well, Mega Man wasn't made specifically with the purpose of challenging Mario's dominance.
Yeah. Sega did have 2 attempts before Sonic: Oopa Oopa and Alex Kidd.
Sure. But that's the thing. Sonic was made specifically to try to take Mario down a notch. And after Mario proved that this was a viable thing to do success-wise, that's when other developers started doing it. So even in that case, no. It literally was one of those cases where Sonic Team was just putting their name on the name of the character on the studio because they were that proud of it. So it really was that case, Jovah. When it comes to this, it was like this, Jovah. Naka and the team, based on the release of this demo and based on the Balan Company thing that you mentioned, are super proud of this game, which is baffling to say the least.
Yeah, okay. So that's one other difference, okay. So ignoring the different time dates or whatnot, what do they see in this game that makes them so proud? Maybe it's just like, a college student's first ever game project I could see him being proud, because, for
delusion.
College... Huh?
It's delusion, Joe. Remember, Neil Druckmann and the rest of his team claim that they're perfectly proud of The Last of Us Part 2. Sometimes developers are just that deluded.
Ah, yes, Neil. So proud that a lot of people left Naughty Dog in the wake of that game.
But hey, guys, I just like to remind you that The Last of Us 2 currently has the most awards for any video game ever.
Yeah, sure.
Do not remind me of how rigged that was, but whatever.
Thanks, Christopher Nolan.
I really do have to wonder, what do the developers... what did everyone...
I know it's not his fault, it's just hilarious that he was the one that presented it.
Sure.
But yeah, back to this game. What? Help me out, guys. What could anyone involved with this project see that makes them... Well, okay.
I just explained, Jovah. They're deluded. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. They're completely deluded. It's not even a matter of one of those cases where you mileage me. No. The best assessment I've seen from people regarding this game is it's okay. Like that's literally the best I've heard. People, it literally varies from complete garbage to just okay. I have yet to see or hear someone say the game is good.
I've never heard.
I'm just in the mediocre.
There you go. Deji is the okay camp.
No. Here's what I know: mediocre and okay are basically the same thing. But when I say mediocre, it's ranging from bad. When I say okay, it's mostly ranging from good.
So you're saying bad to okay, like as in it's not okay, just like okay, but it's just like bad to okay. It's in between those two things. Okay, there you go. Bad to okay.
I honestly find this game just an embarrassment, honestly.
Yeah, like I said, this game feels like it was made by people that never made a video game before.
Oh,
that's sad.
Is there anything else we're forgetting from this game that we have not?
Yeah, I'll just put it like this. I said this on a status a few days ago. Yuji Naka is basically the Keiji Inafune of Sonic Team. He had the right people at the right time to help him make memorable experiences. But ever since he broke out from the parent company due to creative differences and whatnot, he has not made a single hit, and it feels like
he's like
everyone who said that. What?
No. Finish your thought before I make mine.
Everyone who said that he was the savior of Sonic and whatnot, this game proves that he's not this golden goose that people have deluded to all these years. Cause
he never was. He never was.
Oh yeah, you weren't, but a lot of people were. Me, I just thought, this guy is really talented.
I'll just say it like this. Like I said, I always remember Naka as the guy who abandoned Sonic 06 and contributed to it being the way it was. I acknowledge that he is a good developer, but I don't think he was the best project lead in regards here and there. And also, I was always the guy who favored Iizuka more than Naka. Sure, yeah, Naka could maybe claim he was the brains here and there, but Iizuka felt like he was the heart behind a lot of stuff. And a heart that still did have brains anyway.
Iizuka was also Yasuhara's pupil, because remember back in Sonic, after being a debugger for Sonic 2, Iizuka joined Sonic 3 as Yasuhara's second in command as the lead level designer. Basically, Yasuhara was the lead game designer, as in he's in charge of all game design. He's above everybody else, whereas Iizuka was the second in command of that team in Sonic 3. So Iizuka is Yasuhara's pupil.
Let me put it like this. Iizuka has fallen into the purgatory of being way too high on the chain of command. What do I mean by that?
He's the fall guy.
Not only that, but he's so high up on the chain of command that he sadly doesn't get to do a lot of the development that he used to be able to do. Like, that is one of the unfortunate things when you get too high a promotion.
You can look at this for the Journey of Dreams, because the Journey of Dreams was actually the last time where he was actively working on a game. Directly, I mean. Because in Knight's Journey of Dreams, he was producer, director, and lead game designer. That's right, he reprised his role from the first game as lead game designer. He didn't just direct.
I'm looking at Wikipedia. Why the hell did they release a PS2 version of Knights in 2008?
Oh, that's because that was a remake. Because basically, Deji, back in the PS2 days, Sega had this thing where they would make remakes, or at the very least remasters, of their old games on the PS2, and they were only released in Japan. And that PS2 exclusive version in Japan was the base for the HD remaster that we have now on Xbox, PS3, and PC.
Pretty much in that regard.
But remember, like Iizuka, that was the last time, because for Knight's Journey of Dreams was made by Sonic Team USA, the same studio that made Adventure 2, Heroes, and Shadow the Hedgehog. Yes,
based off of Knight's Journey of Dreams, I'd say Iizuka still has
the Journey of Dreams was basically a big passion project for Iizuka, because Iizuka is very passionate about Knights. Ben Andak himself, and this is not even just me saying this, Ben Andak, the guy who I mentioned before, he himself said that they forced him to put the game on the Wii, but the game can still turn out fine just because of how passionate Iizuka is about that project. And it turned out, for the record, everybody, before anyone says, for those who don't know who Ben Andak is, later he was the first one back in 2007 who mentioned, and I'm quoting him on his blog post, before they released a Sonic game where the Sonic turns into a werewolf. And this was before anybody do anything about Sonic Unleashed, which basically demonstrated that guy was legit, basically. Either that, or he had the greatest luck ever when he wrote that blog post. But
I'll say.
But we have every reason to believe. That's the basic point that I'm trying to make. The point is, for Knight's Journey of Dreams, that was Iizuka's big passion project at the time. After being faithful and making Sonic game after Sonic game, he was finally allowed to make Knight's Journey of Dreams, and he put his heart and soul into that. He even bothered to get the original girl that played Claire in the first game to do a new version of Dreams. It was such a great touch on his part in particular. And like I said, he was director, producer, and lead game designer. Ever since Sonic Team USA got merged back into Sonic Team Japan to form just one Sonic Team, that's when Iizuka became a full-blown just producer and doesn't actually work on anything now. So
what you're saying is, I think we all deserve to give Iizuka an apology.
It's not so much that. Okay,
I've been saying that from the get-go. Honestly,
not that Iizuka's perfect for that record. Like I would like to say that.
Oh yeah, of course. No director is perfect.
I acknowledge that he is not perfect, and he did give us Shadow the Hedgehog, a game that I do enjoy and I still like, but I will acknowledge has a lot of flaws here.
Look, the only bad thing I will outright say about Iizuka is that he is terrible at interviews. And like
definitely. No, if there's one,
it's not sequel. It will be brand new experience.
If I were someone in charge at Sega, the first thing I would do right now is Iizuka. From this point on, you are not allowed to give interviews. Because you suck at this.
And that's the problem. They put him in a position where he has to give interviews here and there because, well, as the TV show put it, he got kicked upstairs, essentially.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where, okay, and don't get me wrong, like even as a producer, he does have his issues. Like, for example, like I still think he could have done a better job making sure he told Morio Kishimoto that some of his decisions were not the best, you know? Like with Sonic Forces, that's not the case because Sonic Forces was produced by Shun Nakamura, the guy who directed Sonic 06. Because by the time Sonic Forces came into being, Iizuka had moved back to the US and he was the producer on Mania. You know, so
he said he again. Mania was practically his idea. He's the one that made the game longer than it was because Whitehead and Co wanted it to be like episodic, like Sonic 4 or something like that. It was supposed to be
the original.
Short.
It was supposed to be just a compilation of a few Sonic levels.
If I remember correctly, I think Christian Whitehead told us that Christian's original pitch was just to port the Sonic 1, 2, and CD remasters into modern consoles, and then they would just add that extra levels to the Opolis as a little bonus, just for the hell of it. Why not? But Iizuka looked at it and thought, you know what? You guys just make a game.
Not only that, but Iizuka was the one who helped give them some of the ideas, like putting the Death Egg robot as like the first boss as well.
It's just one of those things. Yeah, it's one of those things where. That being said, Iizuka, like I said, Iizuka as a producer needs to also Iizuka also has a bit of an issue when it comes to managing, because he was the one that allowed a lot of stuff like the terrible writing in Sonic Lost World and stuff like that. So it's not like he's blameless.
We can get into that on another day.
All
right, guys. We've already passed 2 hours. Is anything left?
So let's bring this back to Balan Wonderland. So what else is there that we have in
Wonderworld?
Wonderworld.
Okay.
But yeah,
I need to know. Here's what we need to know. Who's buying this?
Not me.
Wait, technically, Pedro, you have an Xbox Series X, don't you?
No, I have an Xbox One.
Oh, I thought you had the Series X. I was gonna say it might. Yeah, you have a one, so it might come to Game Pass.
Fuck that! I can just pirate it on PC.
Okay, so I wonder which of us will be doing this game for the channel, if any.
Oh my fucking god!
I'm only buying this when it's like at a sale of like 75%. It's only like $10.
I'll buy it when it goes to bargain bin by holiday.
Yeah.
By the holidays. Hopefully we'll all still be alive by then.
What, do you think it might be delayed?
No, I was going to talk about COVID.
Yeah, that too.
Hopefully we'll all be alive.
Hopefully indeed. But, okay, here's one thing I want to ask. How much do we know about Naka's inspiration for this game? Like, I really gotta wonder. Has he stated what he was trying to pay homage to with this game? Because, again,
the only thing he said was musical theater. That's literally the extent of what was told to us. Musical theater.
I know some people think, oh, it's Billy Hatcher, but no, it honestly feels like his attempt at trying to bring Knights back. And I'm just gonna say, if this is what he thought of Knights, I have to wonder what crazy pills he's been taking, because seriously, it feels like Knights if you were playing as the worst part of it from the original.
Hell, if it was just Naka, I would be more understanding. But why the hell is Oshima even allowing him to, not even telling him any of this crap? Because Oshima directed the first game, and he wrote the story, if I remember correctly, didn't he? Like,
So let me get this straight, Ashima. You went from making the first game, which was based around speed, or, at the very least, fast enough platforming, to a game that is slow as molasses.
it's just
Again, I'll give him props for trying to do something new. Like, I guess.
Okay, there's a difference between trying something new and just trying to be different for the sake of going, notice me, I'm so different than last time. Because this feels like they're just acting out to get attention.
But it's like, this was his only shot. And it's like instead of aiming for the target, he just turned around and actually shot at
it is weird. It is weird because
like, whoops.
He doesn't, like, you'd think with the fact that he knows that this is his one chance. Like, and trust me, after this game bombs, he's not going to be able to make any other game ever again.
And that's sad.
God. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be
No,
surprised
he's going to be fired. Like, we already know that this is his job is literally on the line for this game. You'd think with that pressure, he would try a bit better than this, but I guess he just doesn't have it in him anymore.
Or maybe, hear me out. What if this game it'll probably review poorly, but it'll sell decently enough? Because I'm sure this game was not expensive to make at all.
That's the thing, though, honestly. How much would this game need to sell? And secondly, how well will it sell? Okay, let's think about this. Aside from your typical Sonic fan, is Yuji Naka really that much of a household
No, he
name
isn't. He's
game?
no longer. He hasn't been relevant in years. I mean, when people think, okay, yeah, if you say the name Yuji Naka, like on an overall on the internet, like on Twitter or something, some people will, the guy who worked on the guy who worked on Sonic. But even then, most people will just go, what? Like, Yuji Naka. The original Sonic creators didn't really get the same kind of household name reputation that Mario's creators did, because everybody knows who Miyamoto is,
Yeah, the only major faces at Sega people talk about outside of like Azuka is man, damn it, I forgot his name. The guy who created Yakuza,
Toshihiro Nagoshi. But that's the thing. Even Nagoshi, like most people. Know the Yakuza series, but they don't know who made it. Like, I'm talking about, like...
No, people do. They say, hey, look, the guy who made Yakuza looks like a guy that looks like a Yakuza boss.
So here's my point with this. What exactly is going to be a huge selling point about this game? Because if I'm to be honest, even ignoring all the problems here, at best, you take a look at the gameplay, it probably is going to come up as generic. So I ask, what do you guys think is going to be a good selling point here? It doesn't have an iconic, memorizable character here. It doesn't take enough inspiration from Knights for your typical Knights fan to go, oh, I totally want to buy that, because at best, the similarities are skin deep, and even then, from what we've seen, the story is mediocre. So, what's going to be a selling point to this game? Now, if it were good, that could have been a selling point, but
just say from the creator of Sonic to the creators of Sonic
it's one of those.
Hedgehog. Just put that on the box.
Well, yeah, that can work because that's what Microsoft did when they sold Blue Dragon. In Lost Odyssey, they said from the creator of Final Fantasy.
Oh God, are you telling me that this is the Blue Dragon?
Kind of.
Wow.
Except, I mean, I don't know if they're gonna put it on the cover, but even before there was even a cover to those games, the marketing was all over. Sakaguchi's name was all over that game. Like it's the same thing with, like they were using his name, banking on his name hard to sell those games. I'm
just gonna say this right now. When a game seems like it's going to get a What Happened episode in the same year that it releases, which this game might very well have you done screwed something up. Again, maybe this game will turn out to be good. But I'm not, I repeat, not putting faith in that based off of what I have played. Because, a demo is supposed to sell someone on the game. And this did not do
it's
it.
It's poorly made. It's amateurishly made, and it just bloody doesn't work. It's terrible. It's devoid of personality. It's slow. It's not fun, and it's a complete disaster on so many levels. And that's basically it.
Anything else, Dej, before we close out?
Naka, Oshima, everyone who worked on this game, I wish you best of luck on your future endeavors, because man,
I don't really have any faith on them getting any work after this, so I'm not even gonna bother.
Look, again, from the studio that brought you Yoshi's New Island and Hey Pikmin, I'm not surprised. I'm looking at what Naka has made post Rodea. He's just made Street Pass games.
It's okay. No, it's a complete issue of it just makes no sense. This game, I don't understand how the hell nobody in the development team thought that, Naka-san, maybe we should there's something wrong with this game. It really is I just don't understand what the hell happened. Maybe some of the people know that the game is crap, but they don't dare say it to Naka because they know he might fire them. Because that's because I can totally imagine Naka, because we all know that Naka's not a team player. So, yeah, that's probably. Well, that was that was Balan Wonderworld. It's such a mouthful to say all the time.
God, what's up? We need we need something good to talk about for these discussions now. You know what? Tell you what.
Well,
once WandaVision's over, we'll do that.
Yeah. Oh, WandaVision is shaping up pretty great. And hey, maybe when 3D Mario World and Bowser's Fury comes out, we can have a podcast on that. That's looking...
Sure.
Look, Bowser's Fury is an extra mode, and that alone is more fun than anything I've played.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from what I've seen alone in that game,
well, you cannot. Well, Koizumi never fails, so that's just becoming the status quo at this point. All right, everybody. See ya, I guess.
See ya. Have fun.
See ya. And like we said, best of luck to Balan Wonderworld. Again, it should be called Balan Wonderland.